According to analysts, Solo: A Star Wars Story is going to lose Disney and Lucasfilm money, about $50 to $80 million loss. That's pretty bad. And apparently the culprit they're blaming, at least publicly, is bad marketing. And that's actually probably a component. That was actually something I didn't put in I made a video about 8 reasons why Solo failed. I didn't think of bad marketing, but that might be a part of it. But I don't think that's the main culprit at all. And I think they know it's not the main culprit at all privately, but they need to say something publicly to the public to save face. And I'll explain more about why I think that is later. But let's get into this article. I'm on MovieWeb this time. Let's read the first paragraph. Disney's Solo: A Star Wars Story marks the first box office failure for the franchise since Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012, with a new report claiming the studio could lose between $50 million and $80 million. Yep. It's expected to take in around $400 million globally when all is said and done, from a budget that has been reported to be anywhere between $250 million, which is the budget listed in this new report, to other reports that claim the budget ballooned to $400 million, making it one of the most expensive movies of all time. Now, that's because originally Solo was not going to cost that much. If you saw it, I mean, you could tell definitely they spend money on it, but it's not anything that would cost more than like another movie like that. But because of the reshoots, Phil Lord and Chris Miller were the original directors, and they weren't getting along with Kathleen Kennedy. And there were rumors that they, I guess, weren't experienced enough to handle a movie like this. I don't know if that's true or not, but she fired them and replaced them with Ron Howard. But Ron Howard reshot like a whole chunk of this movie. And, the reshoots ballooned the budget up a lot higher than it would have been if the original directors had stayed on and been able to finish what they were going to do. Similar to what happened with Justice League, with Zack Snyder doing it and then being removed, and then Joss Whedon coming in, having to reshoot a lot of stuff to jack up that movie's budget. That's one of the reasons why Solo is being compared to Justice League. There are other reasons, but that's one of the big ones too. Going on, continuing with the quote, here's what Barton Crockett, an analyst with B. Riley FBR Inc., said in a note to his investors about Solo's box office performance. This marks a tough return to movie reality for a Disney that had in recent years enjoyed a can't-miss mystique. It is. That's one of the reasons why I think Solo's failure is a shell shock to Disney, because ever since Disney acquired Marvel Studios and Star Wars, they have been so full of wind consistently. I don't think any movie they've made in the Star Wars or Marvel Cinematic Universes has failed financially at all. And I don't think Disney knows really how to deal with that, this current era of Disney, because they're so used to winning and being so confident, overconfident, I think, that I don't think they're really understanding right now how to handle this. Doug Kreutz of Cohen and Company, he blamed lackluster marketing, as I just mentioned, but here's where he goes into detail. I'm not going to read this entire quote because it's like really long, but basically, he's saying that the type of trailers that were released for Solo: A Star Wars Story weren't as epic as the ones, he compares it to Rogue One, weren't as epic for Rogue One, and he also thought that the timing was bad. They did not start putting out trailers and stuff for Solo until fairly soon before the movie came out, so he didn't think that it had enough time to catch on in people's minds, the advertising, for them to know it was coming out and be enthusiastic. Whereas if Disney had started the ad campaign for Solo earlier, like farther before the movie came out, it would have had more time to gain traction. And that might make sense. I think we didn't get trailers for Solo at all until like the movie came out in May, and I don't think we got trailers until like March or February, which actually is pretty close to the release date. Whereas most movies typically will start releasing trailers and ads maybe like 6 months before a movie comes out. That didn't happen with Solo. And I think part of it is because they were still putting it together and trying to reshoot things to get it, out on time. And they could have pushed it up to a different weekend, but they didn't. They let it stay at the Memorial Day weekend. And so he's blaming that. And he may be right. I mean, I think that's partially true. I don't think he's incorrect. But I think for anyone to frame this as the only reason or the main reason why Solo underperformed, I think that's incorrect. I think there were other reasons, bigger factors, that plagued this movie that didn't have anything to do with marketing, like the fan backlash and other things. I think that Disney has to realize that there's a problem within the fan community with the fan reception to these movies and Kathleen Kennedy, and they're working internally to figure out how to address that to the public and what to do about it. If they haven't already decided already, and we just don't know what they've done yet. But I think they're never going to admit to the public, or at least not anytime soon, that there's a fan backlash and they have to do anything like that. I think they know there's a problem, but they have to put on a brave face. Now, I'm making a huge assumption here. I don't have any evidence of this, but that's what I think a studio like Disney is doing right now. And, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, they're just too used to being on top of everything that for them to admit, defeat or admit that they have a problem with their fans is too big for Disney to be able to do right now. Not this current, iteration of Disney. But we'll see. I mean, the fallout for Solo is still happening. I mean, it came out like a week or two ago. And, I think Disney's still, like I said, reeling from it and figuring out what to do. So we will find out probably in the next few weeks or months what, they're going to do going forward. There are rumors that Kathleen Kennedy might be stepping down in September, but those are rumors. We don't know if that's true. And we don't know. And even if she did, I'm pretty, who's going to take her place if that happens. There's a lot of things we don't know yet. But thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like it on YouTube and subscribe to the channel because I appreciate your viewership. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.